iconic, and uh, that it's commensurate with the global importance of what's being done here in this building. Um, just to give you a quick overview, uh, the Glow Park campus, as you probably know, is immediately south of the South Table Mountain campus of NREL, which is a DOE facility. Access to the project is something that has changed in the last 2 years that we've been working on this project. Originally conceived that the approach would be via South Golden Road to Research Road and up into Glow Park. When we start talking to institutional capital about the importance of this building and the vision of this building, those capital sources said, well, we're not really want to see access via Golden Road. It's hardly impressive. And also the county has suggested all along that access to this site be via an extension to Denver West Parkway. So it's a good thing, but it's not something that we were anticipating. So NextCore is responsible for designing, constructing, and financing this access road that requires easements granted in favor of the county to whom the road will be ultimately dedicated. Those easements would be granted by DOE, the state, and Jefferson County. As I said, there's a west building and east building, referring to them alternately as building 1 and building 2, connected by this really beautiful lobby atrium amenity that is meant to be more than just a lobby. It's going to be a meeting place that's almost museum-like and very educational. There will be conference facilities adjacent to and part of this facility. Access to the building will come through from the extension of Denver West Parkway from the east. Visitors can come into this arrival plaza, and then if they're making just a short visit, they can park here, dropped off, whoops, sorry, and then zip around either this way if they know where they're going, and the most employees will come in via the east up here, either surface park. Most people will want to park in the covered parking and go right into the elevators and then come to the lobby. Whoops, I'm sorry, guys. And then to the building 1 or building 2. We've worked really hard with Jeffco Open Space to realize their vision of a blending and eliminating a barrier between the open space down here to the south and to the east, the open space property, Pleasant View Park, and our front yard here. So this has been a real collaborative effort with Jeffco Open Space to connect trails through basically our front yard and have these educational nodes that talk about renewable energy and other things that are going on in the project. Again, this view from what we're calling the amphitheater or the event lawn, and the entire front yard could conceivably hold up to 1,500 people for large events, maybe even the state science fair at some point. But these this window system here and then over here on the east terrace, these will be movable. So during the nice weather, and we have plenty of it in Colorado, very porous between the inside and the outside. So we're very excited about that. Again, this is a view from probably, the second floor, looking at the arrival plaza, and you can see the East Terrace folks enjoying it. And again, these window systems, it's not fully developed. This is still in early schematic design, will be movable so that folks can come in and out. This is a view from the atrium, again, the arrival plaza out there. And this is an early rendering that's showing more of an office lobby look, which is not what this is going to be. This is going to be much more of a museum with educational kiosks in here and meeting space available. Again, another look, there's going to be a cafe and the ability to have breakout sessions in here. Again, a look towards Mount Morrison from this terrace that's directly under this projection of the atrium. And just back to that event lawn image. Are there any questions before I go on to the numbers?
I'm just curious, who's going to provide the content for the museum type exhibits you're talking about?
Great question. What we're hoping that we have these kiosks that we have in mind, and we're hoping that the prospective tenants will want to contribute the content. But it's a really good question because we really haven't developed or curated those exhibits. So Carrie, if you have any ideas or thoughts, we'd love to hear them.
No, not really.
Okay. All right. So I wanted to explain can you see this exhibit?
Yep, sure can.
Okay, good. Thank you. So this is something that NextCore has worked on with Matt and Tom and Natrice and Susan, and there's been several iterations. But at a high level, let me move your beautiful faces over here so that I can see the whole. This is an exhibit to the agreement, and at a high level, what it is showing is that for this period of March to July, while we are continuing our design, the SDs, the engineering associated with the extension of Denver West Boulevard, all of the drainage work to and drainage plan to pull the site out of its out of the floodplain. Most of the site is in a floodplain right now, and also the plans associated with our need for a permit from the Army Corps of Engineers to discharge stormwater into Lena Gulch. The idea is that We're pursuing that all as fast as we possibly can with the help of this contribution from the state, which is approximately $2.5 million, which represents 60% of the estimated costs of these eligible expenses that you see here on the left, which total about $4.1 million. We've also included, for reference, the costs that are not eligible under this agreement, but NextCore will be incurring, legal, marketing, other consultants. We still will be paying ground rent payments under the terms of the ground lease. We keep track of our time. And so that's continuing. We have a small army of folks here at NextCore that are working on this project. We also wanted to show you what NextCore has expended to date. So through February, it's approximately $3.6 million. So the just for reference, if these costs, as we're continuing with the design process, NextCore will have expended $6.7 million, both in its personnel costs and out-of-pocket costs. And at the end of this period, in the spirit of real P3 partnership, the state will have contributed $2.5 million on these eligible costs to keep us going full steam ahead. Things have changed in the market, as you probably are aware. They took the punch bowl away from the financial markets, and there's a lot, maybe, not the irrational exuberance of 2 years ago, but we want to move full steam ahead. As I mentioned, that our anchor tenant is NREL, and one of the changes, that we've now understand is that we thought that, the typical tenant that we work with, we can quote a rental rate, say, here's your allowance that we're contributing as landlord toward your build out of your space. We can do a single line drawing. It's basically a space plan, and estimate the cost associated with that full build out and say, here's what probably you're going to have to come out of pocket with. And so the lease procurement process by DOE says, oh, no, we can't do that. We're not every other tenant. We need greater specificity. We need greater certainty. And if there's no NREL, there's no project. So this is the other reason, sort of a change, but the other reason why we need to go full steam ahead on what I was calling Concept Plus. And so we're having 2 meetings a week with NREL and Paige, the architect on this project, to get them the kind of certainty, hopefully, that they need. And this contribution by the state really helps us do that. Are there any questions?
Bill, I've got a question. This is David Dragoo. On your spreadsheet, what are the true third-party costs versus the NextCore costs?
The third-party costs would probably be we are, there's a National Environmental Policy Act. And because we need the easements from DOE, we have to do certain studies. We have to do a further environmental study. We're doing a traffic study, and we're also doing a cultural historical study. And so those are the consultants that you see in the 17.5.
Okay, I should ask a better question. Which are on the, for example, the top chart that I'm looking at, which is a very
Yeah.
good, is the architectural, engineering, any of this TI design, are any of those in-house costs, or are these all third parties?
All third party. Good question.
Okay, so the only in-house cost, I guess, I'm trying to separate what is in-house and out of house. So is the next core personnel line item on the second table.
Yes, second and third table. Yes, correct.
And what services are you guys providing other than, you guys are the main developer, project managers? Are you doing any architectural, engineering, or any of those services in-house?
No.
Okay. That helps. Thanks.
Sure. And David, I hope sometime I can talk to you about Mayfly and Montrose.
Yeah. Anytime. That's all I had. Thanks.
Okay,
Thank you, Bill.
sure. Well, Suzanne, Tom, Matt, do you think you want to move on to other agenda items? I really appreciate the flexibility that you guys have given me here.
Yeah, thanks, Bill. Thanks for being able to present here. If none of the other members have any questions, yeah, we can move on and feel free for you to drop off.
Okay, great. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Bill.
Bye
It's
now.
it's a beautiful building, Bill.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm
I wish
looking
I
forward
could
to seeing
take all
more.
the credit for it,
Yeah.
but I'm very excited. It's
Yeah.
super cool.
Yeah, really beautiful. Thanks, Bill.
Yep, bye now.
Oh, let's see. Is it stuck in his? Thanks. There we go.
There we go.
Thanks, Bill. Really appreciate you being here. Thank you for the strong presentation and kind of filling our crew in. Appreciate that. Have a good day. Thank you. All right, we will move on. Thank you all. That was great. Appreciate that. Matt, was there anything you wanted to add to just the aspect of Glow or anything following up on Bill before we kind of continue to move through?
No, I think over the last couple of weeks, our heavy hitter had been the conceptual design review. It was a lot of meetings and a lot of changes. So there was a lot of excitement for us working on the project and getting through that.
Yep. Yep. Thank you for presenting on that, letting us know, and also asking Bill to join. It's a great project, and I'm very excited that we can show these designs now. They look great. All right, well, we'll just kind of dive back into the agenda, and I'll touch a little bit about Lookout Mountain. Just as an overview and to remind, the state of Colorado, we ran an RFQ with OSA for master planning on Lookout Mountain. And that has now closed. The agreement is getting finalized and put together. Kimley Horn was the winner of that RFQ. And we will be doing with a group together with an advisor through City of Golden, and then state teams, including Human Services, DPA, and OSA, will be working with master planning. So that is on T for next. And as soon as we get that group together, the agreement and contract finalized, we'll be moving through with Lookout Mountain. And as a reminder, Lookout Mountain, we're looking for affordable housing, potentially adding early childcare, but we'll kind of look there at Lookout Mountain. There's about a 30-acre plus, certainly won't be the full 30 acres. And we'll be assessing accessibility, the land, what could go there. Would it be for rent? Would it be for sale? So all of that will happen in the next little bit with the master planning. So we look forward to some updates on that moving forward. Any questions on Lookout before I move on to Steamboat? Got it. Okay. Steamboat Springs, overview on that one. The CDOT has a plot of land there that we are working with City of Steamboat and Routt County. And then of course, P3, we're looking at developing some workforce housing and early childcare. So early childcare would be on the first floor. This is on a plot of land, which is currently CDOT's, and it's right downtown in Steamboat Springs. And it's about, I think it's 11,000 square foot of childcare. And then above that, we're going to have about, haven't quite defined that yet, looking to define that now, about 36 units of workforce housing of some sort. And so we are working now with our creating a pro forma, some financial modeling. P3 has hired, we're now working with advisors. So Stifel is working with us to create pro forma for that. And then we'll be working with our steering committee, which includes Steamboat Springs City Council, or parts of the City Council members, and city manager and their program and project manager, as well as Routt County, to look at the numbers on that and to see where it is that we're going to go from there. We do have, P3 has a grant from U.S. Forestry Service, which has been allocated now. That's all for design services. That's for pre-engineering. So that we'll be working with City of Steamboat with our contractor, and that is Vega Designs. And they are working, they've assembled a really fantastic team to introduce mass timber into the project, which is where the U.S. Forestry Service grant came from, for providing alternative wood materials for sustainability, and is actually even for fire as well. So we brought this up in previous meetings, but just want you to go, we have some really good traction now, and momentum is back up. There was a lull for a little while where contracts needed to be renewed. It took some time with both city and state, and now we are the wheels are turning again. So we're very excited about that. Hopeful that this pro forma can actually provide a lot of information that will start conversations about what we can do, and then of course the numbers actually help us know where we're going and how we're going to get there. So really happy about that. Questions on that?
Suzanne, I can't see your screen if you're sharing it. So I'm not the savviest tech guy, so it could just be me, but
I'm not sharing my screen. There's nothing to share. It's just
okay. I thought maybe I was missing something. Good. I was just thinking.
when we do have David, when we have like specific designs, we can certainly share those out. Those of the original has been shared out to you guys a couple of times, but I actually didn't pull it up this morning. Happy to send it back to you though. But as we get into it, and certainly with, we'll be having more participants in our feature meeting. Hopefully, fingers crossed, that we can kind of get the steam going on this project, and we'll have more to share.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. Thanks for clarifying. I know Steamboat's also, just to add some commentary, they're doing a lot of housing in the region,
Indeed.
Along with Hayden. So hopefully they'll have some insights into how that's going to complement this project. So.
Oh, thank you. And in fact, that might be something that you want me to dig into a little bit to provide some clarity on. So I can invite, potentially our partner with Steamboat, and we can kind of get some clarity on that. So great recommendation.
Yeah, that'd be great, because I think they go hand in hand, especially
they do.
Our collaborative department. It's always a lift for everybody.
Okay.
So
thank you.
Sure.
Okay, let's see. Oh, my video is off. I'm sorry about that. Next up, we have DOC broadband. Matt, are you able to provide any kind of insight to what the updates are on where we are with DOC?
For
Thank
DOC,
you.
a little
Yes,
background. A little background on DOC. The project consists of supporting the purchase and installation of broadband infrastructure for telehealth and telebehavioral health solutions for the incarcerated individuals at the Lyman and Sterling facilities. So once the infrastructure is in place, it's going to enable CDOC to provide clinical services quite similar to the community health care organizations once everything is installed up and operational. So really where we're at today, both sites, the contract has been awarded. We had a longer procurement process maybe than we had hoped for. Contract was awarded to Sterling, who has walked both sites in both Lyman and Sterling are in design now. We're currently waiting for the GMP to come back for Lyman so we can understand timeline and the specific costing breakdown between the two. It was slated to come in actually last Friday. There's been a slight delay on that based on some of their engineering folks need some more time. So hopefully we get that in short order. And following that, we should get within a few weeks Sterling, which is going to take a little bit longer just based on the size of the facility there. So we've been in communication frequently with the DOC folks and trying to iron out schedules and construction starts. But again, it's all somewhat contingent on seeing what the GMPs that will be provided for both facilities and what can be accomplished in our timeline. In the background, Tom, myself, and Atrice have been in dialogues about potentially looking into the Denver Foundation and trying to get an extension on the grant expenditure, which has a clock on it of May 16th. But we're prior to having those dialogues, we need the GMP so we can take a look at what the harder schedules end up being. So I don't know, does anyone have any questions on DOC?
Just for the new attendees, we did get it. We got a $2 million grant from the Denver Foundation for this project.
Thanks, Tom.
All right, then Matt, can we just keep you rolling here? Do you have any input for AHEC? And can you provide just a little bit of the overview just for new attendees as well?
Oh, you bet. So Aurora Higher Education, affectionately known as AHEC, is working with a local developer, Columbia Ventures, to bring a mixed-use development on a parcel of land that's owned by AHEC's, which is approximately at Tivoli, kitty corner from Tivoli at 11th and Aurora Parkway. The housing portion of the project will provide some economic and social impact by building approximately 240 affordable housing units, targeting 60 to 120% AMI at the campus. And a portion of that will be master lease for the facility or for the faculty and the staff housing to assist with retention of talent for the 3 institutions that are there. Currently, there's on the commercial piece, there's been a lot of inroads that have happened there. They've completed 100% of their due diligence, ground lease, purchase and sale agreements, and documentation and the funding. The residential side, which we're really looking at from a P3 perspective, is a little bit behind that. They're trying, Columbia and AHEC is working to secure the commercial aspects of it first, and continuing on with the residential in the early childcare learning center as well. And in dialogues with them over the last week, I was encouraged that the early childhood center, we were talking about the capacity there. It looks like there's going to be approximately about a 30% bump up in numbers from what they're looking at for capacity, from 113 to 150, which is a good news story, and potentially more than that. But we wanted to stick, or they wanted to stick with the 150 number now. We're currently waiting to complete the IA between P3 and AHEC. Most of the crux of the agreement has been completed. We're waiting for Columbia to supply us the community benefit assessment, which we'll have to review and agreed to, that will impact repayment terms. And that's really where we're at now from an AHEC perspective. I don't know if there's any questions from the folks on the call today. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate you, Matt. Let's see, we hit Glow Park. Thanks for having Bill on board to kind of provide that. That was a great little overview. Appreciate that. On to the advisors, just as I had referenced earlier, we have engaged with both financial and legal, and we are still, there's still outstanding a couple of contracts needing to get tied down, both with our legal advisor and our other financial advisors. We do have a pool, so we have more than one with whom we can work with, but we do have at least one in legal and one in financial who are complete, and so we are rolling with them and are already engaged in conversation.
We actually just signed a contract with our second financial today. Just got an email this morning. So
wonderful. So yay.
About to round it up.
Traction is great. I appreciate that. That's awesome. So yeah, and we did not let any dust settle on that. We got going. So this is so exciting. It's exciting because it means that we can have dig in a little bit deeper into our projects. And so at least with financial, we'll be engaging both with Glow Park as well as with Steamboat, and legal will be there as well. We'll be bringing them in on another project as well. So it's exciting. And good news on securing the contracts for the other. So we are moving. Things are getting, we're moving forward, which is always a great feeling. Additionally, we are engaged with Stantec, our grant specialists, and we have them absolutely, their head is spinning with where we have them working in task orders with Steamboat Springs, with Glow Park, especially to kind of get down and dirty into finding where we can capture some grants and then apply for some grants. So we'll be working with meetings and workshops with them to proceed, and also they'll be digging into performance as well. So some good updates today on some projects and some happenings within P3. With all of that, is there specific questions? Carrie, David, Katie, I didn't have a chance to meet you. You weren't on when I did introductions, but thanks for joining. If you'd like to introduce yourself, we're happy that you're here. And Carl, you as well. Thank you.
Sure.
Suzanne,
oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Go ahead. After you speak, I was just going to ask Suzanne to give an update on our meeting cadence.
Sure.
Go ahead.
Yep. Katie, take it away.
Yeah, I'm just a fly on the wall, hoping to learn a little bit more about the P3 initiative. I run a nonprofit called Watershed Inc. that restores historic properties for community use, and working with the Buena Vista School District on a childcare project, and had heard a little bit about Steamboat.
Great.
And have had some wonderful meetings with the Department of Corrections and the Buena Vista Correctional Center, and the warden there, and Mitch Carson thought this could be a possibility for this project. So I just thought, I saw the meeting on the website.
Love it.
I thought I'd listen.
That's why
in.
it's there. So glad that you're here. And if you have specific additional questions, please reach out to me. You'll find my email as well. And then, we can always, I can answer specific questions as well.
Okay. I will do that.
I look forward to meeting with you, and thanks for being here, and glad at least a couple of things were relative to you, so you could kind of glean some information. That's great. And thanks for introducing yourself. Appreciate that. And as for meeting cadence, thanks for those of you who returned survey information for future meetings. We will be switching to quarterly updates for the P3 subcommittee meetings. And I mentioned that in the email, but I will be posting that on the website as well. Our next meeting will be held June 13th from 9 to 11 a.m. Following that, we'll have September 12th from 9 to 11 a.m. And then the last meeting for 2024 will be held December 12th, 2024 from 9 to 11. And a request had happened, instead of registering for links, could we please have a link that just hit our email? And yes, I had to get some permissions on that because they like to have the email for anyone attending. And I can just capture that because we don't have 150 people attending our meeting. I got the thumbs up. So I will be, you guys won't have to register anymore. I know that Simon specifically, that he was really hopeful for that. So I will be posting the meetings. I will send you the link that will hit your, once you accept that, that will hit your calendar. And then of course, it will still be an open meeting to anyone who chooses to attend. And I will just collect information from there. So I'll send this out so you guys have it, as well as meeting links and invites today. So we have that. Tom, is there anything else we needed to hit on today before I let you get back to all of the things, all the meetings that you have in Dallas? Is there anything else that we needed to capture?
No, I think that's good. We're making good progress on all
We are.
these projects. So hopefully we can get some milestones this year, and looking forward to doing that.
Yeah, me too. And David, Carrie, Carl, was there anything you guys wanted to question or add in, want me to hit next time, or concerns, questions that you wanted me to address today?
I know you've already set these meeting times, but if there was any chance to move any of them up to 8 instead of 9, that would help me a lot. But I appreciate that we're moving to quarterly. That's helpful too. But just wanted to put that request out there.
Thank you. We'll see what we can do.
Yeah, Suzanne, I would say too, I know a lot can happen in 3 months, so I'm certainly not volunteering anyone else's time, but if you need questions, you or Tom have questions, I'm happy to jump on if you know, if needed, if you have.
Oh, thank you. Yeah,
urgent
and
Thank you.
And actually, to Tom, that's something that Tom had brought up, that should anything else arise and we want to have a meeting, we will ask for that. And of course, send up email updates as they're required or necessary or pertinent, I should say. So thanks for suggesting that, David. That absolutely is. We already volunteered you. So
Yeah.
should
Well, I know
something
you
come
call
up in the in
audible,
between.
you know, something happens and you just have to say,
Yeah.
hey, we should get questions. I know it
Awesome.
happens a lot. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Just one quick thing. If it's possible to send some of the previous projects we were discussing, if there are materials on that, previous presentations that you might have, that'd be helpful. Just to
Absolutely.
catch up.
That sounds great. Yes, can do, Carl.
Thank you.
Okay, just made note of that. All right. Well, with that, I think we will adjourn today. And if you do not receive, I think all of you are receiving emails from me regularly, but if you have any questions or if it happens to get lost, I will be sending this out today. Please holler at me. Any additional questions as well. And Carl, I will probably be hitting up your inbox here with a few things over the next day and a half or so. All right. Well, thanks, y'all. I appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. And I appreciate your time here, your questions, and certainly your participation. So thanks so much.
And thanks for all your work, everybody.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Looking forward to some good stuff.
Yep. Okay. Bye.
Thank you. Have a great day.